Dr. Kazi, Sudhendra Kulkarni, friends. I arrived here on the 9th July. I had some work in Delhi and I said, may I change my dates and can I come on the 10th? My friend Sumedh Shah said, no, please don't, because we have tickets for something that we know you will enjoy very much, so please don't change your plan. And here I was at the Center of Performing Arts at Nariman Point, I think, the big hall, chock-a-block full, with the Gudesha brothers, disciples of Rahimuddin Fahimuddin Dagar, and Ulhas Kashalkar, singing bandishes. Bandishes are compositions, musical compositions of Adarang, Sadarang, and Tansen. Now, Mia Tansen, it's very interesting that they both sang Mia Ki Malhar, because this is the season of Malhar. When in our parts, when the monsoons come, then the peacock dances and the koel sings and the singer sings. Mia Ki Malhar, Gaur Malhar, these are the famous Malhars that he sings. Mia Ki Malhar is a composition of Mia Tansen. Now, Mia Tansen would make it emphatic that he was a Muslim. He probably was. But in Gwalior, where his grave, and they call it his shrine, is, the Hindus and Muslims take turns. One day it is a Hindu celebration, observance, and the other day it's a Muslim observance. Adarang and Sadarang, if you have, any one of you have seen the Sonne-Lumiere in Delhi, Red Fort, which derives directly from British historians, then Adarang, whose name is Nemat, is made out to be some kind of a clown who was sent by Muhammad Shah Rangile, you see the later Mughals, 17th, 18th century, as governor of Multan, at the behest of his concubine. And anyone who's played golf in Delhi Golf Club, they'll say that particular monument belongs to Lal Kunwar. So all of this mumbo-jumbo history that we internalized is there in Sonne-Lumiere. The fact of the matter is that the Khayal Gayaki system would not be there without, if you see Bhimsen Joshi, if you hear Bhimsen, if you hear Gangubai Hangal, Mallikarjun Mansoor, all these people, they end up, the bandish ends with Adarang Sadarang, which is either Nemat Khan or his brother. And this history, and it was heartening that here was Ulhas Kashalkar singing their bandishes at the Center for Performing Arts, magnificent center here. We don't have anything like it in Delhi. And that is what Sudhendra was talking about. You see, there's nothing cultivated about what I said and what those little programs I made, because we grew up like that. And believe you me, it wasn't just, we were not some kind of exclusive freak family. There are lots of people in that area, and particularly in Awadh, which the British called Oud, grew up in this, what was called composite culture or Ganga Jamuni culture. Again, the history was distorted, because in 1856, when Wajid Ali Shah, the last king of Oud, but Awadh, was picked up and sent to Matia Burj, 50 kilometers from Calcutta, as a prisoner. All that historians taught us was that he was a debauch, that he was all sorts of things, which he was not. In fact, the most sympathetic reference to Wajid Ali Shah appears for the first time in the public domain in Satyajit Ray's film, Shatranj Ke Khiladi, in which General Outram is talking to the Nawab and asking him to abdicate, and because his queen Victoria does this, and he lists 200 things that the queen does, and Ray very sensitively catches the point, and he gets Wajid Ali Shah to ask Outram, "Aapki Malika हुकूमत के अलावा कुछ और भी करती हैं?" In other words, other than ruling, because he wrote hundreds of plays, he retained the entire Krishna Leela in Kathak, in the Kathak dance form as we know it. He Thumri, Dadara. You know, there were occasions when Muharram, which is a solemn observance, and Holi would fall on the same date. And there is an instance that he participated in Holi with the Hindus and observed Muharram, which was his fate. But the distortions, as I said, no, I haven't heard anyone tell. Do you know where the whole musicality of Calcutta comes from? I mean, you have even Vilayat Khan grew up there, you have Alauddin Khan come there, you have Ali Akbar Khan there, you have Nikhil Chakravarti, Nikhil Banerjee, the whole lot of them in Calcutta, Kurta Pahenna, Pan Khana, all of this by a process of osmosis, by these people who had migrated, who had been sent in exile outside Calcutta. But we've forgotten it. We've forgotten that part. We have forgotten all of this because over a period of time, we have actually begun to live in what I call uninstitutionalized apartheid. Now, apartheid is a system of separate development. It was nasty as it was in South Africa, as it was in Rhodesia, now Zimbabwe. It existed without it being called. Don't forget that Australia, whites only policy was lifted only in 1974. So therefore it was not called apartheid, but that is what it was. To this day, in Fiji, you have the chiefly order seeking a constitution which is actually being endorsed by both Australia and New Zealand for their own reason against the Indian community. And we in India are quiet. We are not even interested. Anyway, don't get me because I can wander from one point to the other. I was talking to a group in Allahabad, a students' hall, big hall. Again, one of these one of the routine upheavals, what we call communal upheavals was on, and I had been called there to talk on the subject. And I asked the audience, I said, how many of you are Muslims in the group? And about 40%, 50% raised their hands. I said, have you ever seen the tulsi tree grow in the angan of a Hindu? Have any one of you? नहीं साहब ऐसा है, लेकिन हमारे वो रामचंद्र बाबू जो थे वो हमारे पिताजी के दोस्त थे, बड़े अच्छे थे। ये हमने कहा नहीं, I'm not asking you all that nonsense. Have you students been inside the house of a Hindu? I'm straight, blunt question. And seen that tulsi ka tree, which is essential in my part. Silence. I asked the other group, have you? The other way around? अरे ये तो हमारे यहाँ पुरानी परंपरा है, हमारे दादाजी तो फारसी जानते थे, आपको मालूम नहीं, वो उर्दू तो हम लोगों के घुट्टी में है। हमने कहा मैं ये सब नहीं सुनना चाहता। Tell me, have you ever? More or less silent. There's some murmuring, no. So this uninstitutionalized apartheid, every year I tell my friends, Charles, if you came to Delhi in the month of Ramadan, I will ask you, and I will ask Udendra if you're there, and you, Khalid. I said, listen, during the month of Ramadan, I don't fast, but I go to Jama Masjid, because as I said, that is the uninstitutionalized apartheid, that's where Muslims live. I said, come there, friends, and you will find a different atmosphere. You will find it amazing. You will, the ogres in their mind, वहाँ इतने बहुत सारे मुसलमान रहते हैं. The monsters in the mind. And those poor chaps, riots were taking place in UP. As a footloose journalist from the Statesman, long years ago, but this I'm talking about the 80s, stories came out that in Aligarh Muslim University at the medical college, the doctors at the medical college were actually killing, murdering Hindu patients and disposing of their bodies. So I said, this is terrible, let's go there. So outside the university compound, there was a gentleman from the BJP, I forget his very nasty character he used to be, I forget his name. And there were all these journalists around him, taking down notes, what is going on. I said, you are here, you are in the university, why can't you go inside, all of us? Go to the medical college and find out. At the edge outside, you are sitting here in a mango grove. Bada khatra hai.